Welcome to the Aviation Pros Podcast, the go-to platform for professionals in the aviation industry. Powered by AviationPros.com, the leading source for comprehensive news, insights, and data on airport operations. Whether you're focused on airport management, improvement programs, ground handling, equipment, MRO, or FBO operations, we've got you covered with the expertise and resources you need to stay ahead. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Aviation Pros Podcast. I'm Joe Petrie, Editor-in-Chief for Aviation Pros. Our guest is someone who's left an undeniable mark on North American airport leadership, Justin Erbacci. As the former CEO of Los Angeles World Airports, Justin led transformative infrastructure projects at one of the nation's most pivotal aviation hubs. His work redefined how large hub airports move passengers, prioritizing safety, efficiency, and innovation. Now, Justin is taking his vision global in his new role as Director General of Airport Council International. From influencing policy to shaping the future of airports worldwide, he's at the forefront of an industry navigating record-breaking traffic, a technological revolution, and evolving traveler expectations. In this episode, I had the privilege of speaking with Justin about his vision for the future. We discussed how airports can embrace emerging technologies like AI and automation, tackle global challenges, and ultimately deliver better experience for travelers everywhere. Justin, thank you very much for talking to me today. And again, congratulations on your recent appointment to the position. You've taken the helm of ACI World during a transformative period in the aviation industry. How are you leveraging your previous experience at NEOM airports and Los Angeles World Airports to address global challenges faced by airports today?
Well, it's, there's a lot of my background that I'm able to leverage to help me in this role. So certainly my 7+ years at Los Angeles World Airports, including almost 4 as their CEO, then through a pandemic gave me a great opportunity to understand the real challenges in operating, a significantly sized airport. But we also had a smaller general aviation airport that we managed as well. And so I was able to understand the issues and challenges for smaller airports as well. So that period certainly was invaluable in helping me to understand the day-to-day operations and challenges of an airport. And then going to NEOM and looking at airports from a greenfield perspective gave me the opportunity to really look and see if we're going to start from scratch, how can we implement and develop an airport to have all of the measures in place from the very beginning to take advantage of technologies, take advantage of knowledge and best practices to really develop a state-of-the-art airport. So I had the ability to look at all that aspect as well. But even before those two, I had significant amount of experience on the airline side as well. And having both perspectives of both the airport and the airline side, that gives me additional insights into both sides and helps to find common ground when dealing with issues where airports and airlines might have some differences. So all of that together I think is helped prepare me for this role.
And you're getting a very good chance at that right now. You just brought in the experience with the airlines. I want to talk about IATA's recent white paper on slot regulation, and ACI World recently put out a response to this. Can you elaborate on how ACI plans to lead the industry in addressing inefficiencies and prioritizing consumer interests in slot management?
Well, I think it's one aspect of an overall initiative for us, and that is to as we face a period of growth in the aviation industry, as opposed to a period of recovery that we are coming out of, the focus has to be on how do we help our airports and aviation generally to be able to accommodate the additional growth that we see. And certainly help determining how to use the airspace and our air slots more efficiently is key to this. And airports are just as incented to create this additional capacity in the airspace and on the ground as any of the other stakeholders. So it's definitely something that is very important for airports to find ways to be able to increase the capacity that is needed to accommodate this growth. As far as how do we approach slots, slots is a very complex area that has multiple variables and multiple stakeholders, and it is not helpful to allocate blame to one particular stakeholder or another, because we all need to work very collaboratively and closely together to find the solutions to help create a more efficient airspace and airport slot policy. So I think that IATA in their white paper identifies many very relevant and real challenges. I think, though, that what's necessary is for us all to come together and collaborate, because it's nobody's fault individually. The capacity of an airport depends heavily on air traffic control and on airline operations. And so that's why it's really essential that all of the stakeholders work closely together and collaboratively come up with solutions to improving the slot allocation, slot policies.
And that's going to be very important given how much traffic, as you mentioned, we're out of recovery and we're into the growth period right now worldwide. And ACI's 2024 annual World Report predicts a 10% growth in passenger traffic coming years. So what strategies should airport leaders adopt to manage this growth while ensuring operational efficiency and passenger satisfaction as well?
Yeah, it's important because you need to be able to accommodate the growth and provide a comfortable service level. So there are a few aspects associated with that, and we're now developing our new strategic plan for the next 3 to 5 years to focus on specific areas to help airports determine how to adapt and accommodate the growth that's going to come. The first aspect is improving the capacity of existing facilities. So we need to look at how we can get more passengers through our existing facilities while maintaining the customer experience. And this is where we need to really leverage technology and innovation, both for the airspace and for the airport and airline operations. Specifically, if we look at new technologies such as AI and automation, these are going to be really critical to be able to use to figure out how to operate more efficiently. Also, we have a huge workforce issue in the aviation industry, and so automation is going to be key in helping us to be able to address some of the workforce issues, but also to make the customer experience better. And biometrics is also going to be another technology that needs to be leveraged to be able to provide a more seamless passenger experience, especially when it comes to security and customs and border patrol. So that's one aspect of it. Then we're going to have to focus on developing new facilities to be able to handle the increased capacity. And that also involves building sustainable capacity. Right, so there's a huge emphasis on sustainability and making sure everything we're building is being done in a sustainable manner, and that will be a big part of what we'll see airports doing and needing to do, and we want to provide a lot of help to them as well. And there's the financial aspect. So in doing all of these things and meeting sustainability goals and increasing the capacity, developing new facilities will require a huge amount of capital investment. And so we need to work with airports to help them determine how to raise additional capital for new investments, and also how to increase their non-aeronautical and revenues to be able to compensate for some of the decreases in aeronautical revenues that we've seen recently. And then finally, maintaining and enhancing safety and security and the overall passenger experience. This is going to be critical, and this is where we need also a lot of collaboration with the stakeholders, including the airlines, because none of us can really move the needle in improving the passenger experience without collaborating, without working together. So this is going to be key, and this is going to be a big focus for our team moving forward, is trying to work with our stakeholders and find ways to collaborate to move the needle on these issues.
And I want to jump back to sustainability for a second when you touched on that. This has been a big topic, obviously, in recent years, especially when it comes to traffic increasing, even pre-pandemic, now post-pandemic, that we see continued growth in traveler. And a lot of regions like Europe have been quick to jump on sustainability and get things going, and North America has been catching up as well. With all that being said, how is ACI guiding airport leaders to balance growth with sustainable practices, and what initiatives are being prioritized under your leadership?
So we have already the airport carbon accreditation program, which started in Europe but has been adapted for the rest of the world. And this is, we now have more than 600 airports that are part of this program and who are committing to improve the sustainability of their airports. And this is a very important program because it helps airports determine where their gaps are and how to overcome those gaps and achieve better sustainability measures within their airport. And we see airports really grasping this and not only becoming accredited, but trying to get the higher levels of accreditation every year. And so we're very proud of the fact that airports are stepping up to this. At ACI, we were one of the first aviation stakeholders to adopt the net zero target of 2050. And so we remain committed to that target and are, making sure that we're implementing measures and helping our airports to be able to realize the objectives of that. We also are doing a lot in climate change adaptation and resilience. So we're looking to understand how we can work with our airports to understand and do regular risk and vulnerability assessments. Also, we're involved with a lot of the industry bodies that are pushing sustainability as well. So we support very strongly ICAO's policies around sustainability. And we're an active member of ATAG, which is an aviation action group that is dedicated to sustainability. And so we're getting involved and advocating as much as we can for states to support sustainability measures, invest and provide incentives for airports and other players in order to help promote sustainability measures. Very active in pursuing the development of more SAF, which is sustainable aviation fuels, because this is really going to help us move the needle in the short and medium term. And so we're active in groups, ICAO's group and others, to promote the development of SAF and to get again countries and states to put incentives in place to help stimulate the production of sustainable aviation fuels.
Now, you had mentioned before, talking about passenger satisfaction, passenger experience going through the airports. Increasing traffic can be a big challenge. It's that double-edged sword of having more traffic, but also having challenges that can come about with that passenger experience by getting more people through the doors in these airports. And the 2024 Global Traveler Survey highlighted increased demand for well-being, seamless journeys, and premium services within airports. So tell me, how can the airports innovate to meet these evolving passenger expectations, and what role will ACI play in facilitating these advancements?
Certainly, ACI wants to be and is and will be the visionary a thought leader around how we can resolve some of these issues. And we have committees and are ready, and we will create different groups to focus on the types of innovations and technologies that will help us to do this. There's multiple facets to this. As I mentioned before, helping to improve the capacity with our existing facilities. We really need to focus on how we can use artificial intelligence and biometrics and automation to get more people through the existing facilities that we have. That's going to be a key component of that. And then working with airports to help them identify how we can offer different types of non-aeronautical activities and services that customers are looking for to provide a more personalized journey and to provide more conveniences, if you will. Because during that survey, we've seen that passengers are willing to pay more money to get a higher level of service. And so working with airports, what are the best ways to provide this enhanced service for passengers is another area that we will focus on.
And now, mentioning technology, one of the things that I personally find exciting and interesting is the fact that a guy like you, who's a former Chief Innovation and Technology Officer, is taking the helm of this organization at arguably probably one of the most technological leaped times in the history of airports, given everything that we're seeing on the market and that's coming mature and is starting to become real life as opposed to just concept out there. What do you see, which of these emerging technologies do you see as game changers for airports, and how can they be leveraged to address challenges like capacity constraints and passenger experience?
Yeah, I'm excited about it as well. And certainly every role I've taken, the innovative part of me it tends to take over. And so it will be no different here. So we'll continue to look for ways to use innovative technologies to help address a lot of the issues and challenges that we face right now. So the key technologies for us to be able to leverage, again, our AI, artificial intelligence. And when you talk about artificial intelligence, not just, you say, oh, we have to figure out how to use artificial intelligence. That's not what we're saying. What we need to do is look at the issues that we need to face and develop use cases for and use artificial intelligence to solve some of those. So getting more efficient capacity from your airfield, for example, or to figure out how you can better optimize some of your resources. AI is a great tool to be able to help us accomplish this. And then automation as well, and automation goes a lot in to help address some of the workforce challenges that we have. So the more that we can allow the technology and automation to conduct certain tasks, the more it frees up the people that we do have to do the more customer-facing type of engagements. And then biometrics is going to be really key as far as helping to make the security and the immigration issues and challenges much more efficient and making those processes more seamless. Again, also providing the opportunity to use limited resources for more customer-facing exception processing as opposed to regular processing. So those are definitely areas that are the most ripe for innovation. And if we go outside of the airport itself, even in the airspace, artificial intelligence is going to be key in helping us figure out how to make better use of the airspace as well as the skies start to get full with more aircraft.
Now, organizations like yours have a very important role in the industry and the transportation system as a whole, because you are the bridge between airports, governments, and other stakeholders in a lot of cases, and taking up that mantle of keeping communication and making sure everybody works together on this. What are the current advocacy priorities for ACI, and how are you ensuring airport voices are going to be heard on global policy matters?
So a huge part of what we do and what we will continue to do is provide advocacy on behalf of the airport industry. And we do that at the world level. I think you know that we're a federated model. So we have 5 regional offices that we work in collaboration with. And the regional offices are the ones that advocate at the regional level. So with the local governments. And then we at ACI World, we work with the global agencies to advocate on global matters and aligning the interests of our regions and bringing those to these global bodies. So the main one that we deal with is ICAO, and we are very, very active on ICAO panels and in ICAO working groups. With ICAO, we have an observer role, which very few industry bodies have. And so that gives us an increased ability to be able to work closely with ICAO and the states that are represented in ICAO to really advocate for positions that are important to not only airports, but to aviation in general. We also work with other global bodies, including CANSO on the ATC perspective, and with IATA on the airline side, and with the World Economic Forum. I mentioned the ATAG from a sustainability perspective. So there are a lot of industry, global industry bodies that we work with to push the positions of airports, but again, to try to push how we can work collaboratively to make the changes we need in the aviation space to be able to accommodate the additional capacity and provide a better passenger experience. So collaboration is really key because to really move the needle, nobody can really do it by themselves. We need to work with one another, and we need to focus more on where we have common interests and where we can really change the industry, because it's a pivotal time and we need to work together more now than ever in the past. So that's going to be our mantra, is we want to collaborate and be a proactive collaborator to try to help change the industry.
One thing that's promising to change the industry overall is advanced air mobility. And depending who you talk to, that could start next week or it could start in a couple of years. Everyone has their own different projections on when that's going to come about. But we do know that there is going to be something that starts coming about in the near future. And so it's become an incredibly critical topic for the future of aviation. How does ACI World envision airports adapting their infrastructure and operations to accommodate advanced air mobility, such as eVTOLs, in the near future?
So it's just a matter of time before this technology comes. There are already airports and airlines and eVTOL manufacturers who are making great progress in implementing solutions. There are certainly challenges that have to be worked out in order for us to have the eVTOL traffic integrate seamlessly with the existing commercial traffic. That's going to be a big key. Again, there are numerous stakeholders that are at play here and who need to work together to determine the best way to integrate AAM into existing airport operations. One of the big issues is working with air traffic control to determine how we can integrate the flow of eVTOLs at scale in a manner that doesn't interfere with the existing commercial traffic, because we're going to have to increase the amount of commercial traffic at most airports, and we can't allow smaller eVTOLs to create issues and impact the flow of commercial traffic. So that's a big aspect, is that. Then you have to the location of where vertiports go in conjunction with an airport are going to be also critical, because you want to make sure that where you're taking off and landing at an airport, that it integrates well from a passenger journey perspective, and that you don't have the vertiports so far away from the airport terminals that you have to get in a car or other manner and have a long distance between them, ideally. So the placement is important, and again, that has to do with air traffic control and where you can place vertiports. There's a whole financial aspect for airports in determining how do you get the money to develop the vertiports, and then how do you pay for the operations and maintenance of those. And we advocate a different model than we use for commercial aircraft, because it's a completely different type of operation. And then there's another important aspect that often gets overlooked that needs to be addressed as part of the solution, and that is the whole power aspect. So eVTOLs are going to be a significant drain on electricity in airports. And there are many airports who are struggling today to get reliable power. And so an important part of this is to determine and make sure that as we build vertiports and capacity for eVTOLs, that we're making sure that we have sufficient power and power reliability to be able to sustain those operations. So those are all important aspects, and we are involved again with all of the groups that are looking at this, including ICAO, who has created a special group for this. We're very much involved in that, and with the manufacturers and with the airports themselves, to try to help guide them and provide some best practices around dealing with these.
AAM offers a lot of different opportunities, from moving people anticipated on a short haul level of things at these airports. How can airports leverage this technology to drive economic growth while aligning with global sustainability goals? And where do you see ACI playing its role in facilitating this transition?
The use of eVTOLs is, in the end, going to promote sustainability to the extent that they are non-fossil fuel using vehicles. And so people getting to and from the airport using a eVTOL is a more sustainable manner than having them drive if they're using fossil fuel driving. So from that perspective, it helps the overall mobility footprint in providing a more sustainable mobile solution to and from the airport. So as I mentioned before, we are working with all the pertinent groups to make sure that we are making sure that all of the aspects that are important to the airports get attention that they need and get the right resolution as policies are being developed and as solutions are being developed for AAM at airports. But they're going to come, and they're going to be important parts of mobility solutions for airports. And we will, our end, will continue to work hard for our members to help them get the information, the best practices, and the advocacy they need to make a successful integration into existing airport operations.
And my last question for you today is, we've talked a lot about the future of aviation and airports and different goals that need to be handled and challenges that need to be tackled. I want to talk about your role in ACI, and tell me, what is your long-term vision for ACI, and how do you see the organization evolving to continue leading the global airport industry into the future?
We're in the process right now of developing our 3 to 5 year strategic plan. And we hope that we'll have that completed in the first quarter of this year. And it's important because we need to change the emphasis of our organization, as I said, from stopping the work to lead us out of recovery period, and move us into this era where we need to figure out how to accommodate the growth in a sustainable manner. And so as we develop this strategic plan, we'll adopt an action plan that will help us be geared towards meeting those strategic objectives that we set for ourselves. And it will be important for us to maintain flexibility to be able to adapt, because the political environment that we see ourselves in, and some of the challenges from economic perspectives are going to require us to make sure we're nimble as we pursue our objectives. But again, the main focus is going to be for us now on figuring out how do we help our airports to accommodate the growth and maintain their financial viability and improving the customer experience. Those are definitely going to be our focuses moving forward.
Justin, it's been great talking to you today. Really exciting to learn about some of the initiatives that are afoot and what your vision is for airports all across the world, and can't wait to see some of the good news that's about to come down the pike this year from you.
Great. Well, thanks so much for taking the time, and look forward to chatting again soon as we get more down the path of our strategic plan.
Thanks for tuning in to the Aviation Pros podcast. Stay ahead in airport operations and leadership by subscribing to our Airport Business Daily Newsletter, your go-to source for the latest industry insights. And don't forget to explore even more at AviationPros.com, the home of exclusive content for aviation professionals like you. I'm Joe Petrie. We'll catch you next time.